Congressman James Walkinshaw is joining us live ahead of his trip to Minneapolis for a field hearing. Congressman Walkinshaw, it's always good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Before we get to the hearing, we want to get your reaction to this. The president has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, possibly deploy troops in Minnesota to respond to protests over federal enforcement actions. What concerns do you have about using that law in this situation, and how might it impact, trust and public safety with the community?
Well, we know through both of President Trump's terms, he's been itching to invoke the Insurrection Act. He wanted to do it in the District of Columbia during his first term, and he was talked out of it by the Secretary of Defense at the time. He clearly wants to do it. Look, if he was really interested in peace in Minneapolis and Minnesota, simple thing he could do. He could order Secretary Noem to withdraw the thousands of federal immigration and law enforcement agents who are there now, who are creating the chaos, creating the violence. He could order them to withdraw, and you would have a peaceful Minneapolis very, very quickly. Putting U.S. troops, active duty troops, in an American city, in our communities, would put them in an impossible, untenable situation and is incredibly dangerous. I think legally he would lose in court if he tried to do it, but he clearly wants to do it.
So you're traveling to Minneapolis tomorrow for this field hearing. What do you hope to learn on the ground firsthand about what's fueling these clashes between residents and federal agents? And then how will you then, bring that firsthand information back to the DMV, to Virginia, to continue your work?
Tomorrow in Minneapolis, we'll hear from Governor Walz, from the mayor of Minneapolis, but most important for me, we'll hear from community members, the folks who are just trying to live their lives in these neighborhoods in Minneapolis, who have seen the militarization, the huge influx, the brutal tactics, the chaos, the violence, the tear gas. I want to hear directly from them about their experience. I serve on the Homeland Security Committee in the House, and I think we have a responsibility to conduct this kind of oversight, to understand these situations in the closest way that we possibly can. And I'll take that information back, bring it to Washington, and use it in my efforts to rein in the abuses that are, in my view, coming to the American people from ICE, CBP, and other Homeland Security agencies.
There's a lot of confusion about federal enforcement. Many people seem to be unclear about how federal law enforcement, especially ICE operations, are overseen and how accountability works when incidents like these happen. What should people watching be paying close attention to when it comes to checks, oversight, and transparency?
Well, I think the checks, oversight, and transparency in this administration and under Secretary Noem's leadership are non-existent. If we take just one example, the horrific killing of Renee Good, and I was on the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors and helped to oversee our police department there. And when you have an incident where a police officer, law enforcement officer, is involved in shooting an American citizen, the only response from leadership should be that we're going to conduct an impartial investigation to find out exactly what happened, if any policies or laws were broken. The Trump administration, minutes after the shooting, said quite clearly that they were going to blame Renee Good and that the officer acted, in their view, in accordance with their policies. The video shows the opposite, I think. So those checks and balances have broken down completely, and Congress needs to step in and ensure that they're put back in place.
Let's talk a little bit about that. We got 30 seconds. Looking beyond tomorrow, what do you see as the next steps for Congress on this issue?
The most immediate step is next week we'll be considering the funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security in the House. And I'm fighting to include restrictions on ICE and CBP and other law enforcement agencies to end the masking, to end the secret police, to require warrants for the detention of American citizens, and much, much more. If those elements aren't included in the bill, it won't have my support.
All right, Congressman James Walkinshaw, thank you so much for your time, and hope that we can get you back on after you return from your trip.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
WUSA9 Weather Impact is sponsored by